Bobby Caven here from Studio MMA. I have Mr. Brad Pickett here. Thank you, Brad, for taking your time with us today. Brad, can you tell us about the injury?
I got a lower back injury. I got a herniated disc on my lower back, which I've never really had a bad back injury before. I've had like a little bit of back problems here and there, but just through training, but nothing serious. I've never really had an injury like this, which has stopped me from training for so long. It's like weird. I could do day-to-day stuff, but anytime I try and train, I'm crippled. I can't do nothing. It hurts so bad. I was trying to salvage the fight. I was having like epidural injections and stuff, trying to help my back out, and it was just getting closer and closer to the fight, till it got to the stage where the ATT management decided to pull me out of the fight.
And did this back injury, did it start with the training or something in the cage, or is it just not related to training at all?
I kind of like I had like on and off like back problems, nothing bad, nothing like to the extent of this. They always get backaches. I have it, here and there, coming and going after fights as well and stuff. And but it hadn't gone anyway. I hadn't had any problems at all for a long time, and then I just came to American Top Team, and literally it was quite funny. I got to American Top Team 10 weeks before my camp, and the first day I turned up, I was doing a little bit of sparring, hit my head, got clash heads and so on, got 22 stitches in my face, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But then I put a face mask on and I trained for the rest of the week anyway. And then on the following Monday, that's when I done my back, and it just like I couldn't actually remember one incident other than like that. It was more while I was training, I could feel it a little bit. I was like, that feels a bit bad, and I think I should stop. So thinking me being clever, which you should do, is, and sometimes you push through certain injuries and make them worse. I thought I'll stop while I could feel it, so I stopped, and then it just went downhill the next couple of days after that, and then I had to go get an MRI and all that sort of stuff.
How does your recovery look like? Rehab, and when do you think you're going to get back into the cage?
I'm hoping to get definitely back in the cage as soon as possible. And I was hoping that I could maybe try and push the fight back a little bit, but as the UFC now is so stacked and they're trying to keep fighters busy, all the cards are getting pretty booked up, so I couldn't really push the fight back. So because I really loved the matchup, I thought it was a great fight. Really looking forward to it, and so I've just got to try and heal up and as fast as it's one of those ones I've never had this sort of problem before, so it's not one of those ones. I don't know exactly how long it takes.
The guy who's going to fill you in is Demetrius Johnson, and you fought him last year, and you came out victorious. You gave him the only loss as of today. How do you think he will perform against Miguel Torres?
I think it's going to be dangerous for Miguel Torres because one, I think he's got a really fast shot, good wrestling. I don't think either of them have got the punching power to knock each other out. I think he'll definitely go to a decision. It just depends. It'll be tactically who gets the better of the rounds. I think Demetrius Johnson doesn't gas, nor does Torres. Miguel. So I'd definitely go into a 3-round fight. It all depends how the judges score it. I don't think Miguel will be able to take Demetrius Johnson down really. I think a lot of it's to do with maybe Miguel defending the takedowns and trying to outstrike him with his range. Demetrius Johnson is really fast, could get inside and stuff. He's been looking really good after his last few fights from that. He's going to be going into that fight with a lot of confidence. Yeah, it'll be a close fight in my eyes.
I want to confirm a quote with you because we have some common friends, Hamid Akira Khorsani and Sivan Kakai. I heard from them about you warming up before the fight. They quoted that you say lions don't warm up before chasing a gazelle. Is that something that you said?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I do say that.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, no, I just basically, it's probably come back to haunt me now because my back. I don't normally do a massive warm-up before I fight or train, really. And everyone says, oh, why do you warm up more? And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I'll just use it as an analogy. And you never see a lion warming up before it tackles a gazelle. And, that's like I use it as an analogy just to get out of warming up too much. But to be honest, even though when I'm fighting before a fight, I warm up a little bit, like I hit some pad work and stuff like that. I do a bit of pad work and that. But I don't like warming up too much. I just like to pace around the changing room, back and forth, and that, and just mentally prepare myself. I'm in shape, so I don't need to hit loads of pads, and I just want to get in there and get done. I just find it hard to concentrate just when I'm hitting pads. Yeah, some people like a real big warm up. I'm just one of those people who don't. I'm not saying it's the best way, because whatever works for you works for you. What works for me is just I hit the pads for a little bit, get a teeny bit of a sweat going, and then I just do about 1,000 laps of the changing room.
Can you tell me about the MMA or the European MMA fighting scene? Because you fought a dozen events in UK and Europe, and you're cornering a European upcoming fighter, Sirvan Kakai, at Scandinavia's biggest MMA event, Superior Challenge. Can you just talk us through about cornering Sirvan and going to Sweden?
Sure. I don't know. I met Sirvan a long time ago, as in, I was looking, it's just when I was having my WC debut, I was looking for some sparring partners to get ready, because I normally go to America Top Team before every fight, but I was having visa troubles and stuff like that, so I couldn't go to America and do a full camp, so I had to do a lot in England. So I was trying to find some smaller guys, so I actually tried had some people like Paul McVeigh come down from up north. Paul McVeigh came down. I had Vaughan Harvey from England. I had small guys coming from around the UK. But then also Sirvan came over from Sweden, and he said he was going to stay in the gym. But he actually ended up, I couldn't let him stay in the gym, the poor boy. So I took him back to my house, and he stayed with me. And we trained together for a few weeks, quite a few weeks actually, 3-4 weeks maybe. And we became good friends and stayed in contact all the time.
Is this where you guys created the Hobbit camp?
No, Hobbit came about when he was getting ready for his last fight he fought. I came out to Sweden for like 10 days to help him and Hamid to get ready for their fight, and Hamid called it Hobbit camp because we're all real small guys, and I found it quite funny.
Did you guys really try to beat Overeem for real in that video?
No, not really. I wanted to. I'm game for anything, we just wanted to try and, because he apparently he beats those guys up all the time, and I said, I'll help you out, we'll get him, and we were just trying to pounce on him. But every time I tried to go get him, the other two would run away because they're fighting so soon they didn't want to get hurt. So this left me and Overeem going at it, which was quite funny. No, it was like, we were generally trying to get him down, but, as you can see in the video, Hamid and Sirvan were just too timid and wouldn't help me out at all. Left me there in front of the massive lion.
Tell us about the Bedroom Fighting Championship, because that was another funny video you guys did at the Hobbit camp. And
it's just hanging around with Hamid, basically. Isn't like, I always do a lot of goofy stuff all the time, but because of Hamid, he always has a camera with him, no matter where he is. He's sort of that type of guy. He just gets to catch every madness on video. And how it just started, he just wanted to pounce on me, right? So he just tried to grab me, and then we started wrestling anyway. And then I was getting really, really, really hot and uncomfortable in the semi-clothes. So I just went to take off my jumper, and then he started taking the rest of his clothes off. So I went, fuck it, I'll do the same. So I just done it anyway, and then just for the fun factor, it's funny, So we do a lot of stupid shit, But we'll train hard as well, and a lot of people get it mixed up, thinking, we mess around all the time and don't train. No, we train hard, but you got to have fun when you train as well. You got to train seriously and train hard, but then also you got to enjoy yourself. You got to enjoy what you do. It's like when you're at work, no matter where you work. Sometimes if I worked in a supermarket, I'd be working hard and stuff, but then there'd be times where I'd be goofing around a little bit with people I work with, because the type of person I am, and same with training. You train hard, but then also you goof around a little bit.
Tell me about your fighting style. Man beasting. Can you explain what that is? Man beasting?
Well, man beasting is a term that I came up with, which I've been saying to Sarah, which he's got. He at the moment he's got like a blue belt in man beasting. I give him my blue belt. What man beasting is, what I say is like, he's not always the most technical guy who will win a fight. You know, all throughout my career, I've fought some guys who are way more technical than me, but just me, what I call man beasting, is just going in there and just want to win, just to beat them up. And sometimes it's not all about technique. Sometimes it's about imposing your will and looking to beating the guy up. And you see many fighters, even in the UFC, you see some real technically good fighters just crumble from the pressure from another fighter. You know, there's quite a lot of fighters out there like that. You know, someone like Craig Guida, he's not always going to be the most technical guy who fights, but just his relentless pressure coming forward and, you know, in your face, he breaks people down mentally, and that's what I call like man beasting. And how do you prepare man beasting? I don't know. It's one of those things. It's hard to train. You know, it's a mental state. It's not. It's not really. It's like you can't teach someone to have a good heart, you know, and and the will to win is something you have as a fighter and want that, you know. So you know, kind of like, yeah, it's like some people are really, really good in the gym, okay, but when it comes to fighting and when the fight in a cage, it always sometimes it goes all wrong for them, you know, because mentally they're not. It breaks them down a bit. Where I believe I'm a fighter where I don't perform amazingly in the gym all the time because I'm not, you know. But when it comes to fighting, I know how to fight. I switch on and I fight, and you know, you're in trouble, kind of. With me, you're always going to be in a fight. It's not going to be an easy, and you're not going to beat me easily. You know, it's going to be a tough one.
You just mentioned about you well prepared mentally. You have a certain character, or when you step into the cage, you know, your entrances are very unique. What does that do to you? Does that give you more energy, or you just want to do that for the fans?
To be honest, people will also understand that it's an entertainment business as well, you know. So you need to entertain not only with the fighting. You need to entertain with the ring entrance and all that sort of stuff, and also you've got to be marketable, you know, for people to sponsor you, to stand out for the crowd. Me personally, I had that fighting image because my granddad used to be a bare knuckle boxer, and he used to wear what that hat's called a trilby, and he used to wear braces and stuff like that. So I just carried that image over into mixed martial arts, and you know, a lot of people refer it to the character from Snatch, you know, Mickey One Punch, because my name's One Punch as well. It was quite similar, but it's not actually the reasoning behind why I do that, you know. But I believe that it's good to have, you know, some sort of image, you know. It just makes people recognize you more, not just for your fighting, but, you know, so there's been many times where I've been out, no one's known me, and then I'll put my hat on and be like, oh, you're that fighter, you know. It's just helps people remember you. That's why some people get some stupid haircuts and some funny tattoos, maybe, you know. It makes people can recognize you a lot more. You
got this whole style through your granddad, so he inspired you to become a fighter?
No, not technically. I actually I used to play a lot of football. Football was my main sport, and I just took up boxing in the meantime to keep myself extra fit for football. And then I just started boxing, and that's how I got into boxing. And then from boxing, I went into MMA. So it's not my granddad actually got me into it, but I always remember, because my granddad passed away when I was quite young. So I remember always hearing a lot of stories. My mum used to tell me about him, how he used to be bare knuckle boxing and all that sort of stuff. And when I started boxing, she was saying, "Oh, that's, you know, boxing's been in my mum's side of the family for a long time." So, but I did get into boxing to the age of 19. I started boxing. The
past 4 fights, you've been fighting in bantamweight division for the WC, and but you fought in the featherweight division as well.
Yeah.
Is this something you want to go back, or are you comfortable where you are today?
Basically, what it was is that I was never the biggest featherweight anyway. Most guys I fought were a lot bigger than me. I remember like when I fought Paul Reed, he was huge compared to me. So I was never really the biggest featherweight, but I was, one of the best in Europe at featherweight and the best in the UK. So there was no need for me to lose 10 more pounds to be the best at the time bantamweight when there wasn't a lot of bantamweights around. It was not really. Why do I need to like push my body more and lose 10 more pounds when I was, at the top of the game at featherweight? So it just seemed stupid to do that. But to go over to the WEC when you're fighting the best in the world, and also Mike Brown being one of my closest friends, and he was a featherweight and he was a lot bigger than me, it just made sense for me to move down to bantamweight if I wanted to compete at the highest level. But while I was in the UK, there was no need for me to go down to that weight class. And also, when I was competing, that weight class wasn't really existent, I used to fight at 155 a few times because there wasn't a lot of 145-pound fights going on.
Your division in the UFC right now is pretty stacked. Who do you want to fight when you're feeling 100% in your rehab?
Miguel. I still want to fight Miguel Torres. So, in my eyes, I know it's good for me sometimes for Demetrius Johnson to go and keep winning because I beat him. But in this fight, I actually want probably Miguel to win just so I can still get to fight Miguel. Because if Miguel gets beat by Demetrius Johnson, that takes that fight away from me. Because if Miguel gets beat by Demetrius Johnson, I beat Demetrius Johnson. So I'm not going to be gaining a lot from beating Miguel Torres, if that makes sense. But you don't really get to pick and choose who you really can fight in the UFC. But I love to fight Miguel Torres. I still do now, and I hopefully, maybe get to fight him in my next fight. After he's had this fight, he wins. We can make it happen because it was supposed to happen, and hopefully we can still do it at a later date.
Brad Pickett, thank you so much for your time. Good luck in Sweden, cornering Sirvan Kakai, and we'll try to get back with you as soon as you're well and who you're gonna fight next.